When people around the world think of the Philippines, they often picture palm trees swaying in the breeze, crystal blue beaches, karaoke microphones passed around like Olympic torches, and of course that one friend at work who is always Filipino and somehow always the nicest person in the office. But the Philippines is far more than a tropical archipelago with 7,641 islands. It has become a cultural phenomenon, a source of entertainment, talent, resilience, and, yes, even a few political headaches that the world can't seem to stop talking about. Today, let us break down why the Philippines is such a popular country in the global imagination. Our top 10 reasons why this nation has captured the spotlight. Reason number 1, entertainment. If you've ever turned on the radio or gone to a concert, chances are a Filipino has been involved in entertaining you without you even realizing it. The Philippines has been quietly, or rather loudly, exporting talent to the rest of the world. Bruno Mars, Filipino. The Weeknd might dominate playlists, but it's Bruno who keeps people dancing at weddings and singing in cars. Then you've got Apple, the EP from the Black Eyed Peas, whose Filipino roots are celebrated around the globe. And Lisa Longa, she's basically a Disney legend. The original singing voice of Princess Jasmine in Aladdin and Milan in Milan. You know that epic sung a whole new world. Yeah, you've been singing along with a Filipino this entire time. Even in Hollywood films, the Philippines sneaks its way in. In Spider-Man: No Way Home, one of the most pivotal emotional moments takes place in the living room of a Filipino family. Ned Leeds' Lola, or grandmother, played by a real Filipina actress, completely stole the scene. Audiences worldwide laughed, and Filipinos everywhere screamed, "That's us!" That's cultural representation right there, hiding in a Marvel blockbuster. And then there's the global boxing ring. Manny Pacquiao. Didn't he just put the Philippines on the map in sports? He practically stamped the country on the forehead of anyone who watched pay-per-view fights in the 2000s. On stage, on screen, or inside the ring, Filipinos have shown the world they're entertainers by birthright, often blending charisma, humor, and just the right amount of sass. Reason number 2, their personality. The world has discovered that you don't need to fly to Manila or Cebu to meet Filipinos. They are literally everywhere. In hospitals, schools, cruise ships, construction sites, and even inside Google offices, Filipinos are working around the world, bringing their personality with them. What's so special about it? For one, their hospitality. Filipinos are often described as some of the warmest, most welcoming people in the world. Invite them to a party, and they'll show up with food, laughter, and probably a karaoke machine. Their humor is another global export. Life may throw calamities, poverty, or even corruption their way, but Filipinos will crack a joke about it faster than you can say adobo. Foreigners who work with Filipinos often describe them as lovable, funny, and disarmingly cheerful. It's not an accident Philippine culture has been shaped by centuries of blending traditions, Malay roots, Spanish colonial influences, American pop culture, and an endless love for storytelling. This mix created people who are family-oriented, hardworking, but also capable of laughing in the middle of chaos. It is no wonder Filipinos are some of the most popular migrant workers around the globe. Employers know they bring not just skill, but a sense of humanity and joy. Reason number 3, food. This is where things get deliciously complicated. Filipino food doesn't always get the same international press as sushi from Japan or pad thai from Thailand, but once foreigners taste it, they remember it. Americans especially know two staples, chicharon and adobo. Chicharon crispy fried pork skin is the kind of snack that will have you eating an entire bag before you realize what just happened. Adobo, on the other hand, is the unofficial national dish of the Philippines. Vinegar, soy sauce, garlic, bay leaves, peppercorn, slow-cooked chicken or pork until it's savory, tender, and so good it might make you question all your life decisions. But that's just the beginning. Balut, the infamous fertilized duck egg, is a dare for some and a delicacy for others. Halo, the dessert that looks like a rainbow exploded in a glass, is a must-try on hot summer days. And don't even get started on lechon, the roasted pig that Anthony Bourdain once called the best pig ever. Filipino cuisine is a blend of comfort food, colonial history, and local creativity. It might not always look Instagram perfect, but it has flavor that leaves an impression. And for many foreigners, once you've eaten Filipino food, you'll want to come back for more. Reason number 4, resilience. This is where the humor and personality become survival skills. The Philippines sits in the Pacific Ring of Fire and is basically ground zero for typhoons, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions. The country gets hit by an average of 20 typhoons every year, and yet, instead of despair, what do you often see? Videos of people floating down flooded streets on makeshift rafts, laughing, waving at the camera, and sometimes even singing karaoke while waist-deep in water. One example that went viral worldwide happened during Typhoon Yolanda, one of the strongest storms ever recorded. Entire towns were wiped out, yet stories emerged of communities singing hymns in evacuation centers, of people sharing what little food they had, and of neighbors helping rebuild homes with whatever materials they could salvage. The world looked on and marveled, how can people laugh in the middle of such tragedy? But that's exactly what Filipinos are known for, finding joy in the darkest moments. It's not denial, it's resilience, a cultural survival mechanism. And foreigners notice. Many volunteers and aid workers who came to help after disasters often say they were inspired more by the people they came to help than the other way around. It's a lesson in human spirit. The Philippines may bend, but it doesn't break. Reason number 5, bravery and patriotism. Filipino pride is not just about Manny Pacquiao winning fights or seeing themselves on Netflix. It runs deep, forged in history and sacrifice. During World War II, Filipino soldiers fought side by side with Americans against Japanese forces. The infamous Bataan Death March became a symbol of endurance, as thousands of Filipinos marched under brutal conditions yet still showed courage in the face of unimaginable suffering. To this day, U.S. war veterans and historians often highlight the bravery of Filipino fighters who resisted occupation despite overwhelming odds. This spirit didn't vanish with history books. Even now, Filipinos swell with pride whenever their country is mentioned on global media. A Filipino singer wins a competition abroad. It's on every headline back home. A Filipino nurse saves lives in London or New York. The diaspora beams with pride. The term Filipino pride isn't just a slogan, it's almost a reflex, a way of saying, we may come from a small country, but we stand tall. And yes, sometimes that pride can go a little overboard, like claiming that Filipinos invented Wi-Fi or that the first moonwalk wasn't by Neil Armstrong, but by some unknown Pinoy ancestor. But behind the exaggerations lies a simple truth. Filipinos love their country deeply, flaws and all, and they will proudly wave their flag anywhere in the world. But let's not paint an overly perfect picture here. Number 6 is politics. And let's be honest, when people think of the Philippines, they also think of corruption. It's no secret. In fact, many Filipinos joke about it themselves because it's been such a long-standing problem. Politicians stealing money from government funds, suddenly, that's old news. Some of the most recent scandals, like issues surrounding flood control projects, the Pogo controversy, and even mayors or senators accused of pocketing millions, have put the Philippines in global headlines. Then there's the infamous war on drugs, where thousands of people, including children, lost their lives in the name of justice. These darker realities are part of why the Philippines is known worldwide, not just for its beauty, culture, and people, but also for its messy, dramatic, and sometimes tragic politics. It's like watching a never-ending telenovela, except the consequences are real and affect millions of lives. Number 7, however, brings us back to something much more positive: vacation spots. If you're talking about paradise, then the Philippines is almost always on the list. With over 7,000 islands, you've got beaches that rival the Maldives, mountains that attract hikers from all over the world, and diving spots considered among the best on the planet. Boracay is world famous for its powdery white sand and vibrant nightlife, while Palawan has been voted the most beautiful island in the world multiple times. Tourists who go there often say it feels like stepping into a postcard. Then you have Cebu, a mix of city life, history, and beach paradise all rolled into one. The Philippines offers something for everyone, whether you want to go surfing in Siargao, diving in Tabataha Reef, or just relaxing in Bohol while watching the chocolate hills. The irony. Many Filipinos themselves haven't even seen half their own country at S, often the foreigners who explore more. Now, speaking of things that foreigners can't miss, number 8 is karaoke. Karaoke is not just a pastime in the Philippines, it's practically a national sport. Walk down any neighborhood at night and you'll hear someone belting out My Way or Endless Love. And it doesn't matter if they can actually sing, confidence is what counts. In fact, Filipinos love karaoke so much that even at formal events, weddings, or family reunions, there's almost always a karaoke machine somewhere in the corner. It's one of the most entertaining aspects of the culture because it shows that Filipinos don't just enjoy music, they live it. And if you've ever had a Filipino friend invite you to sing karaoke, you know you're in for a night of laughter, off-key singing, and maybe even a surprise superstar performance. Number 9 is work ethics. Filipinos are known around the world as some of the hardest working people you will ever meet. It doesn't matter if they're in healthcare, engineering, customer service, or construction, you will find Filipinos working diligently, sometimes even with a smile, no matter how tough the job is. Overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, are considered the backbone of the Philippines economy. Millions of them leave their families behind just to provide a better future, and their remittances literally keep the country afloat. Foreign companies know this, too. That's why Filipinos are in demand. They're hardworking, adaptable, and they don't easily give up. And here is something interesting. The Philippines has become one of the top outsourcing hubs in the world. Call centers, IT support, creative agencies, you name it, Filipinos are doing it. Why? Because compared to other countries like Pakistan or India, the Philippines has a unique edge: neutral English accents, cultural adaptability, and humor. When an American customer calls their phone company and ends up speaking with a Filipino, chances are they'll end the call laughing or smiling, even if the problem isn't fully solved. That's the Filipino charm. It's work ethic combined with warmth and humor. Nowadays, with work-from-home setups booming, even more Filipinos are joining the global workforce without having to leave the country. It has opened new opportunities while proving that Filipinos are among the most reliable remote workers in the world. Finally, number 10, hospitality. If there's one thing that absolutely defines the Filipino people, it's their hospitality. Foreigners visiting the Philippines are often shocked at how welcoming and generous the locals are. You could walk into a stranger's home in a small town, and they'll immediately offer you food, a drink, and even a place to stay if you need it. It's not just politeness, it's genuine kindness. That's why Filipinos excel in industries like caregiving, hospitality, and especially nursing. Filipino nurses, in particular, are considered world-class. Hospitals in the US, UK, Canada, and even the Middle East are filled with Filipino nurses because they are known not only for their skills, but also for their empathy and compassion. Patients often say that having a Filipino nurse makes all the difference because they don't just treat you as a patient, they treat you like family. But hospitality doesn't just happen in hospitals or in homes, it happens everywhere. Tourists visiting the country often say they've never felt so welcomed anywhere else in the world. From taxi drivers offering life advice during a ride to locals going out of their way to help lost foreigners find their way, the hospitality is constant and unforgettable. And it's this quality that keeps people coming back, not just for the beaches or the food, but for the people themselves. Because at the end of the day, no matter how beautiful a country's scenery may be, it's the warmth of its people that leaves the strongest impression. And that is something the Philippines has mastered like no other. So there you have it. The Philippines is a country full of contradictions and surprises. On one hand, it's home to breathtaking natural wonders, mouth-watering food, and people who can make you laugh even on your worst day. On the other hand, it struggles with politics, corruption, and poverty. And yet, despite all of that, the Philippines has carved out a unique place in the world's heart. Whether it's through the voices of Filipino singers like Bruno Mars, the taste of adobo in a foreigner's kitchen, or the bravery of soldiers remembered in history books, the Philippines continues to be recognized, remembered, and admired. What makes the Philippines truly popular, though, is not just one of these reasons, it's the combination of all of them. The entertainment, the personality, the food, the resilience, the bravery, the politics, both good and bad, the vacation spots, the karaoke, the work ethics, and of course, the hospitality. Together, they create a country that is impossible to ignore. And maybe that's the best way to describe the Philippines: unforgettable. You can try to sum it up in 10 reasons, but the truth is, there are 100 more waiting once you experience it yourself. From its laughter to its tears, from its triumphs to its struggles, the Philippines is more than just a popular country. It is a country that stays with you long after you've left.